Chet's Pets in a little bit more of an experimental phase right now, obviously, with the previous M80 roster, losing a couple members, gaining a couple old ones. It's still a little coming together, but I wonder if they were just watching the tape on how Ambrosia were doing things and deciding that they might be able to do things better. Definitely not the case for this first engagement, as it is going to be Ambrosia winning out the fight just outside of the Viper wall, but still, I have to question, like, what are Chet's Pets really going to be doing on this map, and whether or not they're able to use this composition better than Ambrosia.
Ambrosia is just so good at utilizing space when it comes to this map, maintaining the perfect distance for fights, and no one better at it than Satellite, the everyman duelist that has been coming up so well over the course of this Swiss stage and this tournament even. Glyph in the 1v2 will fall, as Chet's Pets do sense that there is a gap here on this open B site. Spike planted by Marved. As like you said, they're attempting this swamp comp themselves with the Harbor and Viper. Ambrosia keeping their distance from beyond those water walls until they fall. And they'll push with their own. How incredibly low. Cove very powerful on these pistol rounds. Acreon's gonna use it to get to half. Now just set up a second wall to force the sprays here from Chet's Pets. Sprays are better for Ambrosia though. Satellite gets one on the way out. And Ambrosia gets a free defuse.
Yeah, and hey, everybody, Icebox. Let's get ready for a lot of this. It feels like after Tejo has been nerfed and sent to McDonald's, the rest of the composition is just kind of swapped back to this kind of, hey, let's just deny all sight possible, where it gets so difficult on both these sides, to be fair, of not being able to see anything and just kind of spraying through, hoping that you're able to get something. We see in the engagement right off the bat, Chet's Pets, they cut off all sight lines, and then they cut them off again. They plant the spike and are still cutting off sight lines. And then when Ambrosia decide to retake, they do something identical. And Glyph just going through his spray through is able to find one. Satellite again with the other. So Victor and Giza, they've been the first bloods of these rounds right off the bat, 2 in a row now. And that has to be a little bit annoying if you are Chet's Pets. Ambrosia have been doing a great job at just kind of keeping them honest thus far. Obviously, this round having a little bit of stronger weaponry to do so as well.
And continuing to force them to play from behind when it comes to the actual execution. And then overwhelming with Shrouds and Denial on the retakes. Very cut and dry. Again, you know exactly what Ambrosia is going to do. It's just a question of stopping it. Beauty of Icebox. Swarm on top of the plants, so Glyph gets some extra space.
One enemy remaining.
As the wall goes up, he'll just swing it. 4 for the Viper here. He'll get it all done himself. A flawless round 2 from Ambrosia.
And this is the other thing, right? Like, you got so many walls popping up in so many different angles that it's almost impossible to really clear everything out. What essentially is going to happen is you keep on bisecting all of these different angles on the site, and then pushing into them and clearing them out becomes a lot more manageable. You're taking these on like bite-sized pieces. And so obviously in these opportunities where you see Chet's Pets, they have to be the ones who have to move in there and take that space. It's a lot easier for Ambrosia to just be in control of it and clear out all of those little individual sections one by one. Bit of a different look this time. It's going to be fast coming down here, but Satellite's still on top of it. Victor already dropped.
That proactivity from Satellite, one of the leaders in first kills across this split. Trying to find that groove again. Glyph sprays on the run back, but can't find a kill, so Marv will refrag. He and Giza still attempting to fill in the cracks that Oki and Sato left. Doing a damn good job of just knowing this game well enough to be able to slip in where they're needed. Oh, Welly sussed out on the hop, so Caillou can find the easy shot. And Chet's Pets have an easy 4v2 as they stroll on the site. Trade for the one. Shondex does have the angle on the Cove, and a free drop down is his. 1v2 he goes into. Has an alarm bot to clear out an angle if he needs, and Marved is already quite low, but hanging out at his own Cove makes it a little easier to find an off angle where he can just find that pick. Still a little bit expensive for Chet's Pets, but they'll make that bonus round work.
And, you know, this is one of the things that we're expecting from Ambrosia to be really good at. Specifically, just making sure to control things and shut down any of Chet's pets, especially, too, with kind of the aggression coming through. The Desk did an excellent job at highlighting Satellite. Look at how aggressive that was, able to find one back out immediately. But it feels like we're going into a similar story with the first matchup here, where, you know, you're coming in with the old guard, kind of coming through, playing coordinated well off of one another. But there are still a couple of gaps. The Desk highlighted it as well. Things are a little bit different in this tier 2 spacing, and we're seeing kind of that injection of aggressiveness, of energy come through from the side of Ambrosia. It's going to be the Reckoning already activated in order to clear things out onto the site, which will allow Chet's pets to more or less take that space, as Bao is going to be watching for that flank.
They're respecting the util dump that was going to come through after they poked and prodded that bear over on the belt. Now Ambrosia can fully set up that retake with the help of the Owl drone to confirm these positions on site. Victor's going to go ahead and tank that. The operator that Satellite has bought up has been confirmed, so they understand that Ambrosia kind of have to just tank this on their way through. High Tide set up to allow them some extra space to do it and give Satellite a high ground. There's his kill. Now spraying through the High Tide is a lot easier for Ambrosia. Really grabbing another pick onto Victor. Frontline for Chet's pets is crucial here, and Caillou finding the first. No half on Spike just yet, but Giza going forward. Now forward again is Bao. And again, the Spike stalled away by Chet's pets. Ambrosia get the kills, but not the defuse. And they even lose their operator too. Huge round for Chet's pets.
And once again, just another moment of Icebox being played in the current meta. Although I do have to say, I really liked Bao's flank. It was so late, so unexpected, honestly, and just really makes sure that there is no chance whatsoever for Ambrosia to be able to secure that spike kill. You know, I liked the protocol that Ambrosia did have. Despite these walls, they're playing in on these weird angles, taking so much space forwards, moving in to try and take out the post-plant positioning and just claiming that space for themselves. It's something that they play really darn well, but they just simply were not expecting Bao to be on the flank. And similar to how we were talking about Hubert Academy scaling the more rounds that they go, I imagine we're going to see something similar from Chet's pets. The more they see some of these plays that Ambrosia are going to go for, the more that they can account for them and learn to really expect the patterns that we have been seeing Ambrosia just play dominantly on. So it's going to be a question of who can kind of keep things fresh, keep on top of the other one just a little bit more. And right now, it looks like this is going to be a good engagement from Chet's pets.
Usually telegraphed, but already a lot of space gained, and so they're able to turn it into close quarters, 2 for 2. Ambrosia also trying to keep their distance. It's a bit of a tough fight for them, but they closed the gap well enough to make it just one member of Chet's pets standing, Caillou, who has to clean up. And he does hold on to his ultimate, but Chet's pets do not hold on to anything else, and so it'll still be a scrappy buy for both ends. Satellite is going to go for the operator again as well.
That is aggression. I just want to highlight there, too. Satellite dashing across, has a Bucky in hand. Caillou somehow still able to get the kill, but if those initial shots missed, might have been a little bit of Bucky gaming that we were treated to yet again. Like, look at that. Just had to kind of click the gun one more time, and it could have been dangerous. But Satellite playing off these off angles has been a very effective strategy for Ambrosia. We've seen consistently Satellite going for these cheeky angles, looking through the walls in just a weird spot, and able to find a pick right off the bat. And so it is a very heavy investment coming in from Ambrosia, but there's a reason why, and that's because they are confident in Satellite's abilities to find those kills.
Yeah, they're so willing to let these aimers speak for themselves. And every member of Ambrosia is liable to have hero moments. Korean, poking around a little much. Will take quite a bit of damage, but give away the intel. Welly in response. Hunter's Fury to waste a little more time, get the rest of Ambrosia over here to respond to the tougher B-site defense accordingly. High Tide now to provide additional stall, split the board. Chet's pets is going to walk past it, try and fight past it too. Bao's getting a little aggressive here. Hunter's Fury now from Caillou to clear the board as well. Give him a free site to plant on the inside of. But Shondex has not been re-cleared, and he's not getting fully checked. Bao lines up the shot, and it's damage control for that operator in Snowman, which it looks like Ambrosia is just going to try and grab and head away with for this round. Chet's Pets, great attack.
A very respectable round on both sides, if I'm being honest. Just understanding how many ultimates are available on the board, and both of the teams just kind of dancing around it, waiting for the other one to pull these ultimates out first. And wow, this is a new angle I haven't seen before.
I love this.
That's cool. But both of the teams just playing for the ultimates. Both of the teams let the ultimates rip. And then it's once again just down to that chaos, that space taking through the walls. And honestly, Chet's Pets do a good job of just kind of spraying through, having the idea on where some of these members are and find the kills necessary. So both of them playing really respectful around the respective ultimates, and a little bit of ships passing through on the night as they're not aware of just how close by. So that operator will survive forwards. That very heavy investment given back to Satellite. But of course, at this point, Ambrosia, they got to take that time out and start to figure out what's going on, because like I said, I'm not saying I predicted it, but Chet's Pets, they're getting a better idea of how Ambrosia are going for it. You can see as soon as some of these walls go out, there's a little bit more care as to where that operator might be flying out. They're aware of how dangerous Satellite can be. It's just finding those early picks. And so they're holding back a little bit more, trying to mitigate some of that aggression to make sure they've got something ready to counter it in the event that Satellite tries to activate yet again. And well, they've been doing a good job of it, mitigating the damage that can fly through and making sure to win out some of those rounds.
The methodical clearing that Chet's Pets has been going for has a lot of strength behind it, but also a lot of confidence that there's not going to be necessarily that flank coming through from Ambrosia. You don't see them checking their sixes nearly as often. And that does have something to do with just how fast the meta is at this point, where Icebox is just so bloody large that going for that kind of backstab can be such a time waster, especially with this KJ kind of just poking at you. So Chet's Pets really have no trouble just kind of checking the corners in front of them, pressing forward, taking the next leg, clearing room after room until they get onto that site, and then winning those individual fights with the help of the high tide, which they really seem to have a lot of control over. Marv looks very confident in these rollouts. Cascade to fully push them forward this time. Now they're going to try and start to condition some minimal clearing whenever Ambrosia have these eco rounds. Just stay as clean as possible.
You should run.
Yeah, I mean, also too, making sure you've got Shondex watching mid, plays a little bit more aggressively this time, more or less confirms the positioning coming through on A. But this might be tough. I say that, Satellite's still able to go in there and find Bao, and no one gets detained as well, but Chet's Pets will have a clean plant spike down.
And Victor's getting intimidated by those op shots that Satellite is taking onto the screen's pedestal, giving them the Reckoning stun on site.
Whoa.
They're really trying to press onto Victor here at the moment, and Chet's Pets can't come back on. Thanks to the toxic screen that's been set up defensively, Ambrosia can isolate and grab a free rifle out of this. Now they can try and fight on the site. Not a whole lot of time to do it, though. But with the Cove, Acreon might have a little bit of protection. Still low, holding the defuse. Might just be able to get away with Satellite holding with the operator. No! They'll spread back out and take the fight afterwards.
Wow.
Such great control from Ambrosia that whole time. Isolating the free kills and then taking over after the fact. That was beautifully strong.
And they allowed Satellite to get active there. We see just such a cheeky little op kill to start things out. Victor in such a tough position, immediately aware of the threat that Satellite is kind of poising, and that's why you see that hesitation. And then, of course, the rest of the members can just kind of go through there. An excellent kill onto Caillou as well, and then it's just complete domination. We see Ambrosia flood back in, and when things go well, when they're able to set themselves up like that, we see that they are precise. The retakes specifically are going to be what I'm looking at. Victor!
Oh my God.
Wings clipped midair. An excellent flick from Satellite to shut down one of the key pieces for Chet's Pets.
He's got plenty of film to study on Victor, doesn't he? Fully ready for that swing. And Chet's Pets have to work without him. All pressing forward onto Welly. Has gotten a little too close with this Owl drone. Turn this to a 4v4. And now that backstab is coming in from Glyph. Viper's Pit set up on the site, though, and there may not be enough time to act upon it. Locked down onto the spike so Ambrosia can at least hop back onto the site. And it's on Glyph, who does have to give himself away. Marv wins the fight and stays alive on top of the bite. Now can come back through the door on screen for a backstab of his own onto Ambrosia, who are trying to hold down this site. Despite the fact that the pit is still bows.
No way.
Snakebite onto Spike, and that's the easiest kill you could ask for. Shondex dealing with Caillou. Marv found by Shondex, but too tough a time for Ambrosia to cut through. They got to respect it. Give another round away, and it's 5-3 Chet's Pets.
Yeah, just an excellent round coming in from Chet's Pets. The awareness as well. You were talking about that backstab. I was watching for it because that could have been absolutely devastating. And yet Marv, you know, just decides, I can do this. I can walk through that poison and I'll be fine. It started off with a little bit of a disastrous run, but an excellent call coming through to make sure that that Viper Spit goes up, deny any of that additional space that Ambrosia were originally just going to kind of back off and then move in, try and understand that you've got it. But with the Viper Spit deployed, then they suddenly were not too sure what room they necessarily had. And so it was just an excellent little call coming through from Chet's Pets to deny that piece of information to Ambrosia. And now we're sitting 5-3 here. Satellite still with that operator in hand, but it is going to be a different look from the attackers. They are making their way over to this B site, are going to test Glyph here.
Holding close on this orb, not giving himself away yet. Beautiful one-way, sprays through, almost grabs two. But a free plant thanks to the high tide.
Spike plant.
And it's just a spray war here. Let's go fishing. Been found, and the Cove will protect. Marved up close on the site. He's made his way up to heaven here. This is cheeky. Now on the bridge, free kill on Noelle. There you go, buddy. Let's find some more. Oh no, Satellite will shut that down. He says absolutely not. Has to find a clear path with this operator after all. Now Giza from mid. This is once again a little late, but might have enough time. Not that the Cove is faded away. Satellite's been caught. Nope. Turns on to Giza. All of a sudden, it's a 3v1 against the bow at 8 HP. And he's just got to go for the spray. No luck there. And Ambrosia will get their 4th round. Neck and neck here on the XX.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of control that's happening on the map, we're seeing the one that has to move in does a great job of taking that control. And you see the other team just kind of yield the amount of walls that they can put up. They've already kind of dumped exactly what they needed. And so it's this weird back and forth that we're seeing. Glyph going with an absolutely humongous play there. Of course, they are going up against Marv, so you always got to make sure that you're keeping the Harbor in check, because you know Marv's playstyle. He's going to go wherever he wants, go somehow navigate through the back line of your team, and then stab you in the back. And as long as Ambrosia are prepared for that and make sure to shut Marv down, that is a lot of frontal pressure that gets alleviated as well. They know exactly where their opponents are, and that's a little bit awkward, but Satellite able to escape.
Victor almost got the drop. And the leg shot will keep him standing. Now the Reckoning on site, but they exit a little early. Welly, the close angle. Caillou will cut him short. The Chet's Pets should have the sight here. Shondex on the rifle. Another op shot, but it's a wall of shots from Ambrosia that'll shut down the rest of Chet's Pets instead. They have everything they need to take that down. Fun start, though. Good shutdown. Again, they've read up on Satellite. They understand how willing he is to get close, even in rounds like those.
And this is the thing too, like we talk about the sectioning off of all the different walls and stuff like that. Chet's Pets, they had a wall set up to potentially prevent people from that A side moving in from the things. And it doesn't matter because Ambrosia just walked right past that wall. They had enough people with them to make sure that they felt confident in being able to take that space. And you know what? It's these little tiny moments where there's a gap where information gets given over that Ambrosia are able to find the kills. The amount of kills that I've been seeing where, you know, it's just a little angle on the wall is just a second of going up or down, little things like that. They get the information, spray, and are able to shut down some of the members on the other team. Like, Ambrosia have been doing a fantastic job. And there's a reason why they run this composition all the time. It's very clear that they are very comfortable playing off of it. And once again, we're seeing it right now against Chet's Pets.
Yeah, we're seeing these players get activated. Chet's Pets will have the buyback this round, fully set up, but no ultimates to push with, so it'll have to be methodical again. And so they'll head back to this A site where they're able to clear these corners very consistently. Ambrosia, still the same kind of hold. Whenever Satellite's not been allowed to really get activated, Chet's Pets have a much better time of going for those takes and kind of forcing the saves. That's why Satellite's 11-3 in a 5-5 game. So if you're able to go for this early wall out, get these early picks before Ambrosia can respond on this huge map. You can get away with a lot. Glyph proactive in this Viper's pit the second they hear that owl drone.
And now Welly's owl drone should be able to give enough information to understand where this is going. See Victor actually go into the pit as well. Trying to fish out that Viper. Not able to find anything, but does spot a gun, so not too sure where that's necessarily going to go. It is just so much information denied as Bao gets found in the middle there. Still, it does feel like Chet's Pets want this site as, wow, Victor all the way into the back here. Goes completely unnoted as the Glyph goes down, so this is an easy plant now.
Still found one on the way out, and Victor can't re-up. So that lurk, unfortunately, didn't really end up getting too much more than just letting the rest of Chet's Pets in, but that might be enough. Reckoning to get Satellite in, along with this Cascade. Taking over half of the site, now the other half with the Shorty. Good attempt, but nothing there. 2 more rifles to offer here, and Marv, such a fun way to work with this high tide, but Shondex dances it. Marved on top of that first fight, 1v1 against Akrian, and he'll win it. Chet's Pets will grab a 6th. Huge clutch from Marved on top of his high tide.
Last round in the half.
Man, just like the walking around that Shondex did just on the other side of the wall. Undetected completely, is able to get the first kill, first of all, but then gives positioning away to Marv right away. It's just a little bit of unfortunate timing there, but Chet's Pets still able to walk away with it. The number one thing that they want to do is get that spike down, and I feel like you can tell that there's a lot of their utility gets wasted in just trying to make sure they secure it. But Ambrosia have just been really dangerous on these retakes, and we see Chet's Pets now starting to adapt around it. Try and figure out ways to punish that retake. As Satellite yet again going in deep, it's a Hunter's Fury. Very early on here, and yet still, well, he comes out on top. Victor just wants to play the game, but has not been given really that many opportunities in this map thus far.
Satellite able to flick onto the head and grab that op shot too, flying out unscathed. That might be curtains for the round. A lot of time for Chet's Pets to work with, but 0 presence. Caillou has managed to skirt his way through the B lane, but the alarm bot will give away his walk. So now it's Satellite's op posted up here from Snowman. Ambrosia's gonna come to this. They'll intercept. Huge jump up from Satellite. Caillou reactive with the Hunter's Fury and still fishing for Akrian, who is also stuck in Snowman. High tide will give them the positional reset. And so far forward, Chet's Pets still have to breach this. Not so much time left for Chet's Pets, but they're still going to wait for this to fade away. No chance to retreat with Glyph holding it down as well. Double swing is good. Giza for the 1. Ambrosia can't confidently peek this, but they can't toss some shock darts at it, so Giza's down to 43. Glyph finally making his way up the lane. Turns on 2. Doesn't miss it. And that'll be the round, no doubt. Giza in the back. 5 HP.
Oh, okay.
Cleaned up.
Wow.
Ambrosia are stoic when they're allowed to be. And this round they were. So, for the 3rd consecutive time for Ambrosia, they exit their first half 6-6.
Switching sides.
I mean, at least they're consistent, right?
Yeah. They just can't seem to find a lead until the second half. It's crazy. Doesn't matter which half they're playing.
You know, yeah, it's just, they're like, well, this is how it goes. But hopefully they're able to flip the script this time and find a kill. That is an excellent headshot coming in from Satellite here. But Satellite just doing the most, going for these opportunities and able to find so much. Forces out the Hunter's Fury so early on, and you know that Chet's Pets would have preferred to have that one on a line, especially in that post-plant positioning there. But excellent job coming through from Ambrosia to just kind of seal around. There's those moments of just it feeling a little bit more chaotic, and that's when Satellite gets to get activated and help swing the advantage back around. So Ambrosia now going to be on the attack. Chet's Pets, oh, Giza, already taken a lot of damage, but able to back out of that one nice and safe. And a heavy emphasis right now on this defensive side onto B. But Ambrosia, they're slowly making their way up onto A. So quiet. Victor is going to be up top. Let's hope that this half Victor will be able to find a couple more kills, but Ambrosia have just been doing a good job at coming out on top of some of those gun duels, catching a timing here, catching a timing there, and just shutting Victor down from doing anything on this map.
It's just so easy to slow the Jets down when you have something like the Harbor in your kit. At any point, you just be strolling into a water wall. Owl Drone does pick up on Victor, and so as always, he's going to respect it. Glyph's Lurk also catches Marved and will keep Bao over on B lane. So this is an incredibly weak A site for Ambrosia to hit. Now even weaker that Shondex finds an angle too. Again, this patience is marvelous from Ambrosia. Recon Dart does a good deal of intel, so a little bit of a positional reset as the toxic screen fades away, but Satellite has no trouble
30 seconds
just going
left.
for the fight again and forcing Chet's Pets to try and stay stoic themselves. But here comes the push. Welly is not going to get phased by Giza. The shock dart is what does it. A site's clear. Bao alone here, and he has made his way all the way up lane, but Ambrosia will be accounting for that.
Flawless.
And Shondex will get 3 on the pistol.
Shondex, another player highlighted by the desk. It's been doing so darn well. And this is the thing about Shondex, especially on this attack. You know, we talk about Marv being kind of like that lurker who likes to make their way around, all that type of stuff. But Shondex does an excellent job of it as well. Currently on the Killjoy. And just has been doing such a good job at finding some of these timings, looking up at the right position, and shuts people down. Currently actually leading the scoreboard as well. 15 kills to Shondex's name. Even higher than Satellite, who we've seen so many flashy kills coming through from these last couple of rounds. Already Satellite going in so deep, but not able to secure anything this time. Jets Pets aware of what's going on, have 3 members stacked up onto this A site, while the rotation will start to be made here. But weapon-wise, it's not going to be looking good for them.
Jets Pets really trying to clamp down on this push. The Owl Drone will push them back just a hair. Ambrosia, again, whatever's guaranteed is what they'll get first. And again, tremendous patience from both Glyph and Acreon to get that first kill choked up on the wall. Jets Pets again. The question is, do they get up close first? Instead, they'll choke up again. Hold their guarantees. Next leg of the push is incoming as soon as the screen fades away. Snake bite for the flush, and it's an easy 2 for.
Wow.
One enemy remaining.
Just incredible execution across the board here for Ambrosia, looking clean as can be. Just what you asked for when you came to watch this team. They play Valorant, they play it right.
And I wonder if this is something just about the way that they're approaching the retakes. I wonder if Chet's Pets should take a page out of Ambrosia's book, you know? Sure, like all these walls and stuff like that are going to get tossed up in order to secure the plant down. And then you just completely yield the site. And now we can move and set up our own walls and then clear those individual little spaces one by one. Because we're seeing Chet's Pets, they've got these protocols for just tossing up smokes, denying all of the information site. But they use all of it, and Ambrosia just kind of hang back. Like they're not under any specific time crunch or anything where they feel the pressure to move through these smokes. They just hang back and wait it out completely. And then as a result, when the walls go down, then it's suddenly their turn to deny all of the information on the site. It's their turn to just completely dominate. And then all of the tools that you would want as Chet's Pets to play that retake are simply just unavailable at that point. Like, look what happens immediately as the wall drops. It's completely in the favor of Ambrosia. Sure, they got sold out for a second, but they had more than enough time on the clock to just wait that one out.
Chet's Pets don't have enough tools to keep Ambrosia off the site for the whole clock. So it's all about restricting options until that bitter end where you force Ambrosia to make a faulty decision. The Owl Drone up this far on A is a decent start, forcing Shondex pretty far back, and Victor is going to deep on the belt, punished. Crucial for Ambrosia's bonus round. Oh, and Marv caught by the alarm bot. Shondex almost gets the 2. Marv down to 30.
Spike planted.
Still, though, that was all just a delay at the end of the day. I mean, Ambrosia, they just completely go in there and they're able to get the spike down. Nice, clean, and easy. Now look at this, like, the retake coming through from Chet's Pets. Finally lining themselves up here. Let's see how they want to move in on this.
Cycles begin. First on the screen. Fades away. Sprays through Satellite for the one. High ground still not cleared, though. Geese is right in front of this. High Tide does a great job of now forcing Ambrosia to go for their own util dumps. Recon Bolt's a good start, though. Bao's just holding this. He's not getting caught. Now they'll spray. Giza in front of this, though. Doesn't catch Welly on the exact same angle, but only half of the spike. You just gotta win this one fight. Is there enough time for Jets Pets? No!
No way.
0.07 seconds. Give Ambrosia the bonus.
Now, speaking of timing on the last one, right? Like, obviously, like we talked about, Ambrosia being really good at, like, waiting it out. They've got plenty of time to do it. But Jets Pets just took a second too long. Points of a second, actually, too long at getting themselves set up. And immediately, as soon as the smokes start to dissipate, I mean, Ambrosia were just ready to gun them down, and it becomes this weird, awkward gunfight. And the timing just missed by a second. And just like that, Ambrosia are somehow able to take it. Sure, it was an expensive round, but they got more than enough money to buy up here. Satellite has that outlaw in hand, still going to be looking for those cheeky little angles, as Shondex has been doing a great job at keeping A honest as well. The weaponry not looking good for Jets Pets. They're down 3 rounds now against Ambrosia, which, once again, they have gone undefeated on Icebox in this split.
Thanks to these implants from Shondex, no walk-up is safe. And Chet's Pets can't gain any proactive space here on A, which is why Ambrosia decided to push it. Chet's Pets in response will take over yellow at the very least. Gain a little bit of macro advantage for the response, but in all likelihood, Chet's Pets will have to back out of this and try to reduce this back to close quarters on the retake. Far too much that Ambrosia have for this exec. Toxic screen is available here for Bao to at least stall this a little bit. That's what they'll do. High Tide will be respected by Bao,
30 seconds left.
as the toxic screen is not. Ambrosia fully take over A site. The silent plant and Satellite already taking pot shots at whatever feed he can spot. We're back for this. Victor get caught by the alarm bot. Ambrosia just holding it down. And no blanks.
Oh, it's so tough to watch. Like, Victor has just been having such a hard game here. And once again, like, when the retake comes through, it looks completely different compared to what Ambrosia were doing on their retakes, despite the fact that this is a very similar composition. There's so many, like, look at this replay right here. There's simply nothing just getting tossed out to here. It's just Chet's Pets walking in one by one. And Ambrosia, they understand how this composition is played. They know exactly what could be happening, and they're ready for it. They're ready to receive what's going on and catch those timings. It's an excellent read coming through from Ambrosia to make sure that Chet's Pets, they have no skin in this game at all. Now finding themselves on to 10. Ambrosia haven't lost a round since. That's now 4 in a row from that 6-6 half that we were talking about. And Victor spots one out, goes through the operator shot, but can't quite connect.
And huge commitment as Satellite will just find a different angle to poke. And he's gotten away with it. Shondex is the one to take the refrag. Caillou poked. Bao actually finds it below the tube. And so this mid-aggression actually goes better for Chet's Pets. Ambrosia now forced into a difficult channel. And this is the bottleneck that Chet's Pets was searching for, to be able to just play that raw defense with what they have left. With Victor still on this operator, though, it's relatively vulnerable, and they do have to check for the invade. So Bao will stick around, and for good reason. Here comes Welly up the tube, and he wins the fight! Immediate better space gain for Ambrosia. 35 seconds to go. A-site is all theirs. Victor, tough walk up. Just gonna spray through this. Steps up, quick scope! Is he back? The Reckoning will stall. Welly still active from middle. Glyph on top of the spike. Caillou, though, trades it back as Glyph tries to retreat. And Welly, the full wraparound, has to come to cores. There it goes. 5 now in a row for Ambrosia on the attack.
That's so tough. I thought for sure that was going to be a Chet Spets round. It felt like they finally had their timings. They finally found some value there where they were able to make sure that they get the timings onto Ambrosia and shut it down. And yet, of course, they just quite can't do it. Ambrosia have been looking stellar. Sure, we talk about these moments, things were looking a little bit awkward here, but at the same time, Ambrosia are not afraid to still try different things right now. And it's in these weird positions that we see them just really confuse Chet Spets. I mean, honestly, Caillou being able to find one there, shut things down for just a second, like Chet Spets really are struggling at figuring out how they necessarily want to play these retakes. We're seeing the timeout being called right now. Chet Spets trying to salvage something here, but Ambrosia looking to make sure that they continue to keep their 100% win rate here on Icebox. And there's a good reason why they've got a 100%.
Ambrosia have just done such a fantastic job of twisting the knife into mid the second that they can. And you saw them do it in the very beginning of the round as well, try to get that early advantage, went 1 for 2. And then the second that they realized that they could plant someone in there again, they do. They send Welly up tube to try to find the backstab. He runs into Bao, who is ready for him. And then Welly doubles back down, goes unchecked again, and Victor falls. Can't step in again, be that easy trade. Ambrosia doing a fantastic job of just doubling back and reducing these resources until Chet's Pets don't have anything to offer at the actual problem. A site's open season again. Owl Drone gets a world of intel.
With a different look defensively here. Uncharacteristic, Satellite goes down as Bao is able to find that headshot. This might be the opening that Chet's Pets have been looking for. A lot of information gained, but they're doing a good job at least of zoning Ambrosia out, and Ambrosia, at the tip of their spear, are deciding to back off. You see the slow descent out. Now, imagine they should be moving in onto B site, but I like this from Chet's Pets. They're trying a different strategy here. They've been trying to replicate the success that we've seen Ambrosia bring with the exact same composition, but sometimes that's just not your style, and we're seeing that adaptation now. So Ambrosia going to make their way over to this B site, have that Viper's Wall still to play off of. Should be a nice, easy plant for them. And now we're going to be seeing Chet's Pets retake potential, especially with Marv having the Reckoning online. That could be an excellent tool at least zoning things out, allowing for a better retake.
They feel very confident about being able to step back onto this, but that's just what Ambrosia are ready for. Glyph has already walked all the way up to Snowman and breaches the high tide, takes down Caillou. Reckoning is mandatory now. Viper's Pit on top of the spike just to stall. Glyph, fantastic offensive ultimate. And Victor's step back doesn't work. Welly yet again, the denial. And the lockdown on top of the pit gives the site back over to Ambrosia. Everything is taken care of. Every action has a response with such a greater power. Chet's Pets abandon ship. Make it 6 consecutive rounds on the attack that Ambrosia get. Unbelievable control.
It's just so tough. I mean, yeah, we see Satellite go down first, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, if they decide to commit here, then they're going to walk right into Chet's Pets. And honestly, with how these attacking rounds have gone, we expect Ambrosia to do just that, and yet they double back. Hey, we've got a lot of ultimates online. It would be a shame if we use them, huh? And do exactly that. They overwhelm the site and then zone out the enemy with ultimates alone. Victor finding kills there was the key to success for Chet's Pets. If Victor was able to secure some of the kills, shut down the lockdown, then Chet's Pets would have had a much easier time moving in. They were already poised to do so, but unfortunately, Victor going down so early means that Ambrosia have more than enough to make sure they win that round. 6 opportunities for Ambrosia to take map number 1. And you know what? They're looking nice and confident in doing so.
Just these tools that Chet's Pets were prepared to come into this map with to aptly respond. Victor's quickness from behind. Keys' ability to hold down passively. Marved with the ultimate positioning. Ambrosia continue to course forward. Vow, only good for the one. Satellite is already worlds ahead of it. And the ultimate is loose. Free plant for Acreon as he's made all the space necessary. And then some with the recon dart. Fully set up for this retake fight as Chet's Pets, everybody comes back from Snowman. Given away, but Satellite's game sense is just better. Swings in to try to go for more, but that's all he'll get. Now the Hunter's Fury in response from Caillou to suss out Yellow. Does tag Acreon, finishes him too. And so Chet's Pets can step back on freely. Huge recon. Shondex steps out. That's a second. Hunter's Fury on top.
Attackers win.
And it's an undefeated attack half. Ambrosia. The impossible just keeps happening for them. And they'll take map 1 in spades.